You know, this always mystified me. I've had people telling me for years and years and years, you know, Zig, when I get a little down, I pop in one of your tapes. And, man, it always gives me a lift. I always thought they were talking about a psychological lift. I've since learned that they're talking about a whole lot more than that. But let me tie that to another question. How many of you, as a general rule, deliberately drive your automobiles until it's completely out of gas and you're at the mercy of other motorists to take you to the car and get a refill? How many of you do that on purpose? Not accidentally, but on purpose. Or how many of you, as a general rule, when you see the empty needle moving toast to empty, you say, you know, I got to go get me some gasoline? How many of you generally do that? Can I see your hand? These salespeople and other people say to me, when I get down, I pop in one of your tapes. Now, is that smart? Or should they pop in the tape before they get down? It's easier to stay up than it is to get up. The reason we recommend listening 16 times is because if you listen to it 16 times, by the time you get through, you can, in fact, be finishing a lot of the sentences and a lot of the stories. Now you're talking to yourself. That's what you're saying to you. And what you say to you is dramatically more important than what I say to you. Now, I've been talking, as nearly as if my climbing is right, 2 hours and about 20 minutes since you got here. Now, most of the time when people have been sitting there for 2 hours and 20 minutes, listen to somebody beat their gums and really, get after them with a lot of enthusiasm, they begin to wonder, boy, when is this fellow going to get through? As a matter of fact, man, I'm getting tired. I'm going to make a statement right now, and if it's true, I want to see those hands just pop up. If it is not true, I want you just to keep your hands by your side. How many of you are honest enough to do that? Can I see your hands, please? All right? I see virtually every hand going up. Now, even though you've been sitting here all this length of time, sitting right there in your seat, at this moment you're more energized physiologically than you were when you sat down. Now, if that's true, let me see those hands go up. What about that? Now, hopefully you're not just being ladies and gentlemen. That's the reason I tied the honesty bit in there a little bit earlier, okay? Because you see, something has happened to you while you have been sitting there. Dr. Forrest Tennant, in my judgment, the #1 drug authority in America. He was the consultant for the Justice Department, for the NFL, for Texaco, for any number of other organizations, NASCAR included. Dr. Forrest Tennant is a friend of mine. He went to a seminar I conducted out in Anaheim, California, back in 1989. Now, the seminar was from 6:30 in the evening until 10:30 in the evening. The participants had been in an afternoon seminar from 12:30 to 4:30. Before I started at 6:30, Dr. Tennant took blood samples from 5 of the people there. Actually, they just gave them to him. He didn't have to take them. But he got blood from 5 of the people. Now, when I got through, he took blood samples from the same 5. The endorphin level was up to 300% higher when I got through after 10:30 at night than it had been when I started. Since then, he's done a series of other experiments and has discovered that, for example, when the brain is activated, and that's what's happening right now, that the other neurotransmitters come in and flood the system. Serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, and endorphins, and a lot of the other neurotransmitters. And you are physiologically energized, not just psychologically. This was written up in the May 1989 Meetings and Conventions magazine. Here's what he says. There is a biochemical basis for why people feel good after these talks. Something in hearing about success gives us an emotional charge that releases those chemicals into the bloodstream, and that makes the body function better. While these effects last no more than a few hours, regular doses of motivation will lead to better health, happiness, and achievement. That's in the May 1989 issue of Meetings and Conventions magazine. Now, the reason I do all of my recordings in front of live audiences, and the reason we insert the humor in there as much as we do, is because we want to get those endorphins and the dopamine and all of those other things in there flowing, because they literally physiologically energize you. People are always telling me, where on earth do you get that energy level? Well, let me tell you, first of all, to the very best of my ability, I practice what I preach. What do you call somebody that practices one thing and preaches another? Hypocrite. As you know, a hypocrite's a fellow that gripes and complains about the sex, nudity, and violence on his VCR. Now, that is... a hypocrite's a fellow that just simply is not himself on Sunday, I get so ticked. A lot of people, they say, I'd go to church, but ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrites down there. I always am so tempted to say to them, come on down, feller, we got room for one more. Besides, if a hypocrite is standing between you and God, that just means a hypocrite's closer to God than you are. Well, anyhow, the activity that goes on in your mind, you remember I've been saying several times, you can have everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. Dr. Tennant says, listening to tapes early in the morning will jumpstart the flow of serotonin. Now, serotonin is the feel-good neurotransmitter. That makes you feel good about yourself. It generally doesn't hit the system full force until about 10 o'clock in the morning. There's another way to jumpstart the flow of serotonin. That's do something really nice for someone else. It's amazing how good you feel about yourself when you do something really nice for somebody else. I'm talking about a philosophy that's other people-centered. I'm talking about a procedure that works. I'm going to make this statement. If I could not replace my cassette player in my automobile, $50,000 would not buy the one I have. I would prefer to drive a used Volkswagen with a cassette deck. You've invested your money in the tapes. You've invested your time. I really encourage you to listen and listen carefully. I close with a story. As I've already told you, I was raised down in Yazoo City, Mississippi. We lived next door to some rich folks during the Depression years, and I was over there for lunch one day, as I tried to be every day. And don't misunderstand, even though there was a depression going on, we certainly had plenty to eat at our house. I know we had plenty because if I ever passed my plate, they'd always tell me, I know you've had plenty. So I know we had plenty. On this particular day, the cook brought the biscuits out, and this is not an exaggeration. The biscuits were not as thick as my wristwatch. And I looked at him, I said, Maud, what on earth happened to your biscuits? She reared back, gave that big old tummy laugh, and said, well, I'll tell you about those biscuits. She said they squatted to rise. But she said they just got cooked in the squat. Basically, that's the problem with most people. They get cooked in the squat. They're a half a mind to do it, or they're going to do it, but they never take that first step. That's what I'm really saying. How many times you ever seen somebody and they get excited about something but say, it's about time for the kids to get out of school, and we're going to a lot of parties and so forth. Well, the kids get out of school, and then, man, I'll really get involved in it. The kids get out of school and they say, well, I didn't realize it, but I got to take them even more places now than I did at the end of school when I had all the parties going. Wait after the kids get back in school, I'll have more time. Then I'll really get involved in it. Kids get back in school and they say, well, for the first time in 17 years, dear old Central High's finally got a winning football team, and he got to support the kid. Wait till football season is over, and then, man, I'll really get involved. Football season, then they say, well, here it is, Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year, and people don't want to be bothered this time of year with all that stuff. Man, wait till after the holidays over, then, man, I'll be ready to go. Oh, now, wait. No, I know exactly what you're thinking about. Let me tell you the way it really is now. What I like to do is I get everything lined up. I prepare, I draw a plan of action, I get all ready, and then, man, when I really get started, I'll pass all these other folks, that kind of got the jump on me now. But after the holidays, you just watch. After the holidays, they say, well, the weather. Have you ever seen weather like this in Dallas, Texas, or Denver, Colorado, or Tampa, Florida, or where? Wait till the weather settles down, and then, man, I'll really get busy. The weather settles down, they say, well, here it is Easter, and Easter time is family time. And you yourself said family time is important. I got to spend some time with the family, man. After that, though, man, then you just watch me. I'll really take off. After they do that, then they get the good weather and say, well, I haven't wet a hook or hit a golf ball in I don't know when. And when I do a little bit of that, and you said it yourself, fella can't work all the time. Got to have some recreation time. Wait till after that, and then, man, I'll really get busy. And then after they hit a few golf balls, wet the hook a few times, then they say, well, it's almost time for the kids to get out of school. And that's where we came in. People who wait for Aunt Matilda to move out or John to get on the day shift. People who wait for the tax rate to change or for the new models to come out. People who wait for the new senator to take office or the new advertising campaign to start. People who wait on changes out there before they do anything in here invariably end up getting cooked in the squad. The message is real clear. This information isn't worth a hill of beans until you put it into action. And then when you put it into action, that's when things happen. I promise you, I've not given you any theories. This is valid information that has been tested and tried by tens of thousands of people, and it works in any language that you want to put it in. That's what I'm talking about. I'm encouraging you to buy the ideas that we've been talking about. Take this to heart, put it to work, and do it now. Because if you do, I close as I always close by saying, if you'll do these things, I will see you. And yes, I really do mean you, not just at the top. Hey, I'm going to see you over the top. Thank you, and God bless you for being here. Thank you.